Hi, in this video we will see how to format a string. We can format a string different ways, but in this video we will see couple of different ways to format the string. The first way, we will separate all the strings all together by comma, and the second way we will use format method to format the string, and the third way we will use f string. By using f strings we can also format at our string. So this is my favorite. Before starting I'm telling you, but most of the time in our daily life we can use this one, this one, and this one. So basically these three are uh, overused or heavily used, I can say, but which one you will use, it's up to you. But I like this one, that's why I told you, but you can use any of the approach. So let's get started. For this tutorial I am using Visual Studio Code and on Apple computer, but you can use Windows and operating system and any other editor also. So at first I'm creating a file. Suppose the file name is string format dot. This is a Python file obviously, so I am putting extension .py. Okay, so this is the string format this file. Now what you will do, actually we want to see whether how the string, how can we format, we will see in details. So suppose at first we can define one string like name one, for example, name one equal to like Bob. Okay, and how can we print this string? We can print this string like print, and then we can insert inside the print method we can put the name on, and then if we run the application, then it will run and it will show you that it is printing the name Bob. So here it is a string, and we in our previous tutorial we saw that we can define a string by double quote also. So let me run it again and check is working fine, right? So we can define a string by single quote or double quote, we know that, but in this tutorial I will use single quote, but you can use double quote also, it doesn't matter. Okay, so now we have on name and we are printing like this. Okay, so now let me define another variable like name2 equal to, suppose the name2 is Scott. Okay, and then we want to format this to a string altogether. Inside it we will put this string and we'll format. Suppose we want to make a sentence like Bob and Scott, they are friends. Okay, so Bob, this is a name on variable, so I am typing name on, then comma, then we'll type Bob, and suppose I'm making a sentence. Okay, then comma, then name2, then comma r, then we have to put the string our friends. Okay, I just trying to make a simple sentence to format the string. Okay, so here what we are doing, actually we are using two variables and two different names, and then we are actually formatting those whole string altogether to make a sentence, right? And here name1 is one variable, name2 is a variable, and rest of the things and these are string. Okay, so now if we run this application, now let's see what is the output. So I'm going to run, and after running we are seeing that Bob and string are friends, right? So we are able to add those two variables, and then we can make the sentence. Okay, in this way we can actually do we can actually format this string. This is one approach. Okay, now let's now we'll use the second approach. So second approach is dot format method. So we'll use this format method to format this string. Okay, so now I'm going to close this thing. So now let me define two numbers, like number 1 equal to, like we can put a number like 50 dot and some long values, something like that. Okay, so this is a float number and we are defining number 1, and let's define another number 2, and let's define the value like 5 dot some values. I'm just typing randomly. Okay, so we have two numbers. Okay, so if you want to print or format these two numbers by printing, then we can do the common way, something like that. Now let's try to print these two numbers like this format. Okay, the way we did this thing way. Okay, so we can do like this way, print, then inside it we can put like we can put the code like number 1 is, then comma, then number 1, right? Then comma, then number 2, then again quote, number 2 is, then we can put that thing, right, in 2. Okay, and we can make it, the sentence more nice, and so it will print like number 1 is that number, this number, and number 2 is that. So let's after typing this, let's run the application. Let's by clicking this arrow, green arrow, and we're seeing that it is printing number 1, and this is, so this is the previous approach. This is not the actual dot format method. So I'm going to cut this thing. I'm going to put it here because I will discuss this now. Okay, so now we can also make it comment because we are not using this thing. So I'm just putting the comment, so our thing actually terminal will be very clean because we want to learn only whatever I'm discussing. Okay, so now this way we can print the thing. Now let's print by using let's format by using the format methods. Okay, so I'm using print again, and inside it I will use this format method. So at first we have to type those single quote because this is a string. Okay, we are formatting also a string. Okay, and inside it we have to type number 1 is, then that number, right? I'm typing like double underscore because we will fill the blank, and number 2 is, then underscore. So we need to put the value. Number 1 is this and number 2 is this, and then we have to use the format method, this method. Okay, so I'm using the format method dot for format, and inside this format method we have to put this parameters. So here, what are the numbers? There are 2 numbers. Okay, we want to put here and here. So what I'm doing, I'm putting n1, then comma n2. Okay, number 1, number 2. Okay, so here number 1 is the 0 position and number 2 is the second position, right? So what we have to do, we have to put here some value. Okay, so here I am putting this thing, this curly brace we use to replace the value. So I'm also using this thing, and inside it we have to put the position of the value. So here n1 is the 0th position, so we have to put 0, and number 2 is on second position because this is n2, right? So we have to put here 2, sorry, not 2, is 1. It is set from 0 1. Okay, now if we try to run the application, let's see what is going on. So if we run the application, then it is showing that this is number 1 and this is number 2. It's the same, right? The previous way. Okay, so by running this line we can also doing this thing, but what will happen if we put 1 here and if we put 0, then what do you think what will happen? Okay, try to think. Okay, here actually if we put 1 and 0, that means 1, this is argument 1, that is 0 1, so this number should be here, right? Number 2 should be replaced here. Now 5.65 will be here, and this 0 means this n1 because 0 position argument, right? So n1 is this number, right? 50. So if we run the application, let's see what is happening. So here now see, this is the output of this line. Number 1 is 5. So number 1 is 5, but this is not true, right? Because we put n2 here in this position, that's why it is giving you wrong answer. So basically here it should be 0 and then it should be 1. Okay, but the thing is that I showed you this thing for one reason. Suppose there are like 10 different arguments like 0 1 2 3 4 5 6, something like that. Okay, and inside the format there are many things are there, so you can directly call this position argument by using like index position. Okay, it is easier. So let me comment this line also. Now we have this line. Okay, now what we need to do, we want to format this thing, right? Suppose let me clean this thing one more time, run. So now the value is this line. Okay, so here you see that there are lots of value like 50, and there is many things, right? This thing we want to precise the value, like we want to precise like only 4 digit, right? On 4 till 4 length. So what we have to do, we have to put a colon, then after that we have to put dot 4. Okay, and here also suppose dot colon dot 4, so it will put print only the 4 position. Okay, let me run the application now again. So I'm going to delete and then run. Now check the value. Okay, number one is this 50.26. That means 1 2 3 4, 4 digit, right? And number two is 5.652, so 4 digit, right? So basically the precision actually is what is doing, it is actually putting printing on the only the fourth till the first 4 characters or 4 length, something like that. Okay, now if you want to put if you want to actually fix the floating point, suppose here under after dot there are a lot of digits are there. Okay, but right now we will not do this thing. Now we will not do this thing, this part. Okay, decimal part will not we will use only this decimal part. Okay, but the regular before the decimal we will not touch. So suppose we want to format like 3 digits here, after that, after is decimal. Okay, so what we have to do, we have to put it here, but here it is 4, but we are targeting 3 only, so we have to delete this 4 and we have to put 3, and here also 3. Okay, now clean this thing again and run the application again, and now after running the Python script, we are seeing this is the output, and now we are seeing that there is 3 decimal point after dot. Okay, here is also 3 decimal point. So in this way we can format the whole string by using the format method, right? So this is another way, and there is also another way we can also format this string, and I will discuss that now. This is called like it is called using f string methods, something like that. So let me write a comment like using f string. So I'm going to comment this line again because we don't need. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, we'll format these numbers again by using the f string method. So for f string, it is very simple and very easy. So what we have to do, at first we need to format like this way, like the previous way what we do, what we did. Okay, so what we have to do, we have to type the whole thing like that. Is suppose the argument is this one, and then let me do one thing. Number one is like underscore, and number two is like underscore. That means we need to fill this part. Okay, so now for f string, what we have to do, we have to put at the beginning we have to put f. Okay, f, and then inside this we have to replace this blank space with the argument like before, like this way. Okay, so for here we have to put this thing, and also here we have to put like this. Okay, but here inside this argument, previously we put like 0 1 2 3, something like that, right? But now we will not put like that. We will directly call the variable name here. So we can call anon, and then also here we can call n2 directly. Okay, and in this way we can actually check. So, and this is very easy to readable, right? I think so. It is very easy. So number one is n1 and number two is n2, and there is very less chance that you will do mistake. And before that we are using f. This f is like raw format. Like do you remember that before that we use r to figure out the raw format of this thing? But here we are not going that. We are doing f to change the format of this string. And if we run the application, run this Python script, let's see what it will give the output. So let me clean this thing and then run the script again, and after running the script we are seeing that it is also giving me the same output. Like number one is 50, we are seeing number 150, and number two is this one. Okay, and here also we can format this part also. Like if you want to print only the like first 4 digit like 4 precision, then we can also do by putting a colon dot 4, right? Dot 4, and here also colon dot 4. And let me clean this thing again and run the script, and we'll see here it is showing only the 4 precision values, right? And if you want to fix our decimal point, we can also do like 4 decimal point each of them. So here then it will change, right? So let me clean this thing and run the application, I mean this Python script, and we're seeing that this is on and this is on other. So after each decimal there is 4 digit here also, but the actual number, it has more decimal values, right? In this way we can do. So basically in this way we can format the whole string. This is the most used thing uh, actually in our daily life when we do Python programming. Many times whenever we catch data from website, or we need to display some data, we need to format our data different ways. That's why I showed you this thing. So in this way we can format the string, but there are many other different ways we can still format this thing, many different ways. If you go to my website, like myfewsteps.blogspot.com, if you go this thing Python notes, probably it will be under Python, and if you click Python there will be some link like Python notes. You can go there, but right now I didn't updated the link. I did not, but I will update very soon. At that time it will be everything, I mean all the Python related stuff will be in this tab Python. If you go there it will find there. So here you will find this type of Python notes, and inside the Python note, if you open, then you will find this type of cheat sheet. This cheat sheet actually I collected from this website. This is very nice, and here it is actually trying to explain everything in shortcut, so you can check this thing. But right now I will not go those things. Those are advanced thing, because most of the time most people or most Java, sorry, Python developer, they don't need, like few people they need this thing. Okay, we heavily actually use this thing because we process data a lot. That's why we try to use this type of thing, and there are many other advanced topics also. You can go to Python documentation, you can learn, but those are advanced thing. The basic thing which I showed you, these are mostly used this thing, and I also describes you that there are three approach basically we use most of the time in our day-to-day life of Python programming. These three you must have to know. There is no other option. You must have to know these three, and then after that you have time, then you can learn this thing from the website, from my website, and then you can practice like this thing. And it is pretty simple and straightforward. You just need to spend some time how it is working, and if you don't understand you can actually put your comment under the video, then I will try to answer your question or answer your issue. And also I have planned in future, when I will start the advanced Python programming, at that time I will discuss more details about this string formatting thing. Okay, okay, thank you for watching the video. If you enjoy this video, then hit the like button, and also put your comment. And if you wish, you can also subscribe to our channel. That will be a great support for our channel. Thank you for watching.